Well, hi there. How did you get in the house? Oh, well, it's nice to see you. It's been a while, but I think next time you should at least knock before you sneak in through the window. But it's okay, as long as you're here, you may as well watch me on this video thing we're doing, and you just try not to steal anything, okay? Now, I got some advice for Kamala Harris, and she's doing okay without my advice, and I like her. Compared to that jerk she's running against, I don't see how people can support him. I mean, decent people. I know a lot of decent people who support Donald Trump. They never give me an explanation. Every time I try to press them on it, they start talking about the weather. And I'm sort of easily distracted, so of course I start talking about the weather too, and then I forget all about what I was going to say to them. But here's the reason. Number one, just something he said the other day. And it's so typical of him. And what have I always said about the Republican Party? And I'm not talking about, my friends who are Republicans, my relatives, they're all, I love them just the same. I'm talking about the people who are active in the Republican Party, particularly the elected representatives and people who work in these campaigns. They're not about solving problems. Democrats are about solving problems, which is why so many of the programs on which we rely today, like Social Security and Medicare, came from the Democrats, and the Republicans fought them tooth and nail. They went after Roosevelt. They went after Kennedy. It's just, they went after Obama on Obamacare. Anytime the Democrats try to do something that makes things more or less better for the people in the country, Republicans fight them. The reason they fight them is because they know that eventually the money that pays for these programs comes from taxes, and who pays the most taxes? The wealthiest people, the wealthiest corporations, for whom the Republicans are always doing what? Cutting taxes. And if you don't know that, you're not paying attention, which is the trouble with most rank and file Republicans. They're good people, they just don't pay attention. I talked to somebody the other day, I'm not going to say who it was, but a fellow I like, I respect him, he's intelligent, and I said, I know you're supporting Trump, but here's an article in the New York Times, and it had detailed graphs in it with all the backup information and everything else. There's no question about it. These were valid. And they went through and they showed what Donald Trump said about the economy and what the data showed about the economy. Now, on every single major point, Trump was lying. So he said, well, I'll read all that. I said, well, great. So I came back a few days later and said, did you have a chance to look at that? He says, yeah. And he says, you know what? I just didn't believe the data. I didn't believe the graphs. And I said, well, did you have any evidence to the contrary? No, I just didn't believe it. I said, that's why people like you are Republicans. That's what's wrong with you. You know what you want to believe. You can tell you the facts until the cows come home, assuming they come home. And you won't believe it because you don't want to believe it. And, people who know me know I've been trying cases for well over 50 years. And facts are what my life is all about. If the facts don't take you there, you don't go there. I'm a Democrat because the facts take me there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. I don't have any particular allegiance to the Democratic Party. But when I see what the Republicans do and what they lie about things, and the problem is when you look at them and there are no solutions to anything, they're just against things all the time. And what they're really for is power. And Donald Trump was just the living embodiment of that philosophy. And we saw it the other day. Kamala Harris came out and she says, I'm in favor of doing away with taxes on tips for restaurant and service workers. Now, I personally am not in favor of it, but she said that. Trump had a fit. That was my idea. She stole my idea. Now, a person who cared about these workers would say, I'm awfully glad to see that Kamala Harris has come along with me on this, because what that means for these workers is that whichever one of us gets elected, it's not a question of who takes the credit for the idea. It's no matter which one of us gets elected now, it looks pretty good that these people will get a tax break. That's what a person of class and integrity would have said. Instead, to him, it was all about getting the credit. Because he didn't do it because he thought these people needed a helping hand. He did it because he wanted to get the votes of the people in Nevada, particularly in Las Vegas. If he could undercut that, he could ensure himself picking up those votes, which I don't think is going to help him anyway. But that's why he did it. It was a strategy, a tactic about getting into a position of power so he could have the power again. Not because he wanted to help those people. I repeat this to you, those of you who are Trump supporters. I know some of you watch this. If Donald Trump cared about these workers, he would have said, I'm really glad she's come along. It was my idea. I'll take credit for that. But she's all along with me on that one, and we may disagree on a lot of things. The fact that we agree on this one is really good for those workers. That means no matter which one of us gets elected, they're going to get a break, which they richly deserve. And I thank you, Madam Vice President, for joining with me in this effort. Now, he still would have been taking credit, but he would have blown his stack. He blew his stack because it was all about taking credit. It had nothing to do with helping these people. If you don't see that, then you're willfully blind. You're like my friend who wouldn't look at the charts. Looked at them, but then didn't believe them because he didn't want to. So, here's my advice for Kamala Harris. Stop talking about joy. It sounds like you're getting ready to go to a mission or something, and everybody's going to joy. I feel joy in my heart and joy for Krishna or whoever the hell they're feeling joy for those days. It sounds phony, and if it works, that's fine. And they overwork these things too. Don't say joy. Don't say joy, because joy is a weird word. You know what I'm talking about. That pun was intended. It's a weird kind of word. It's not how people don't normally talk about. I feel joy. Did you go to the party? Yeah. Did you like the play? Yeah. I felt joy. No. I went to a party. I met friends. I went and I was quite happy about it. My dog came up to me and said, "Do I feel joy?" No, I felt happiness. Happiness is more light. Now that's just me, okay? But words are a plaything to me. So there's a difference in tone to me between saying, I just feel joy. Joy sounds so spiritual or something. It's like you're bringing religion into the conversation. It has a religious connotation. Happiness is just, hey, it's a beautiful day out. Hey, the sun's shining, the birds are singing, it makes me happy. Not, I feel the birds are singing, the sun's shining, and I'm joyous. No, I'm happy. Here's what I would say if I were Kamala Harris. First of all, I'd say, I'm a woman, not a man. Unlike Ed, who's all man, and who's now talking to you, but I want you to pretend that I'm Kamala. Don't even pretend I'm Kamala. You know what? That's disturbing. That's a disturbing image. So forget that. Put that out of your, just put that out of your head. I'm going to try to put it out of mine. No. If I were me running in her place, what I would say is, I'm happy, but I'm angry and disappointed. Why? Why am I happy? Because I just shot 9 holes and got a pretty good score. But that's another reason. Of course, that they know I was lying because that never happens. I'm happy because I live in the best country in the world. I'm happy because we have good people here. We have a strong, thriving economy. I don't care what the other side says. The statistics, the facts show differently. Our economy is in a growth mode like it has never been before. Inflation is down to less than 3% when it was up close to 10% before. Inflation is on its way down. Prices are stabilizing. We're moving into a solid stationary economy which had rapid growth. And when people say, oh, it was just awful, prices were going up. Well, I'll tell you something. I own a house. I own a few houses. And they've all gone up in value. And everybody I know who owns a house is very happy with the value of their houses. So they're not saying, well, poor people can't afford them. And they're saying, well, I'm sorry poor people can't afford them. But on the other hand, I'm doing quite well. And that's most people, because most people in this country who are voting age and who vote own their homes. So all of them did very well for no reason other than that. The other thing, of course, is stock. And if you own stock, that went up. So those of us who had investments did well during the Biden administration, period, stop. So I could say, I'm happy for me. I'm happy for people who invested. I'm happy for people who own stock. I'm happy for people who own homes. And I'm hoping for all the people who have jobs who otherwise in other economies have been unemployed. We have full employment. I've had it for years. So I'm happy with the progress we've made. I'm really proud to be an American. We have, without a doubt, the strongest military in the world. We have the most moral people. We still have a country that was built on moral foundations and wonderful principles of humanity. our Constitution, we have a tremendous amount of things about which to be proud. Proud. And if you need any more, take a look at what our Olympic team just did. I'm proud about that. I'm happy about that. And I'm excited about the idea of leading you in the future to be your president for the next 4 years so we can continue this journey, continue to be proud about America, continue to build on what we have built so far, and continue to be happy and proud of ourselves. So why am I angry? I'm angry that my opponent is constantly telling you how horrible this country is. He tells you we're a third world country. Why? You know we're not a third world country. Because he thinks that will help him to obtain power. Just like, talking about eliminating taxes on tips, or TOT as we say. Yeah, because that's a road to power, he thinks. He thinks if he says that, and then everybody says, oh yeah, Biden's terrible, Kamala Harris is terrible, the whole country's horrible, we're going to hell, it's exploding, we're right in the middle of a disaster, this is the worst condition we've ever had in this country, the worst it's ever been, that people will vote for him. And we know it's a lie. You can just turn around and look around. Is your neighborhood, is it trash? Is it a mess? No. Do we have pockets of poverty and homelessness? Yes, we do. That's not a good thing. But it's not the country as a whole. So I'm sad that instead of having a debate with people who, between like with Obama and John McCain, those two people had different views of what the country should be doing. But they were decent people and good to each other. And John McCain wasn't running down the country. And neither was Obama. They were proud to be Americans, and they were asking the country to trust them with leadership of a country of which they are proud. I am proud. Donald Trump should be proud, but he's not, and he is actively trying to keep you from being proud to be Americans. And shame on him, and shame on you if you listen to him. So don't listen to him. Listen to me. Yeah, that's not gonna fly, is it?